Good evening to you, my friends. It is a pleasure to come and to talk with you. And you know, that reading may have been a little bit lengthy, and had our channel chosen the reading, she might have given you the first one in the book because it is short, you see. And you know, sometimes it is difficult to keep concentration for any length of time, you know, and it takes you back, no doubt, to those school days when you got bored with what the teacher was saying to you, yes? Yes. But nevertheless, you all learnt, and you are all learning to this day about life, my friends. And it can be arduous, and it can be difficult, and that is why you are here, to get a little bit of help along the way. Help from within yourselves, of course, because you all have a spirit within you that is strong. How many times have you seen that happen to your loved ones? Their spirit shines through the physical ailments that they have, and you think they are going to get well again, and then suddenly they have moved on in their life and moved to the spirit realms. So you see, that was the spirit getting ready for its continued journey in life. We do not like to use the word dead, you know, and yet many of you think of spiritualists as talking to the dead. Yes? Yes. But you know, we are very much alive, you see, but in a different state of vibration. And as was said in that reading, you know, there are very many different states, and the physical life is one that is heavy and dense, and yet the spirit is not in that vibration for very long, only for the length of time that it is housed within the physical body, that can be on times troublesome to one and all. But you know, the seasons of your nature show you the rhythm of life, you know. And sometimes when you are feeling in despair of what life is about for you, then just music, the rhythm of music, can help you to raise your thoughts, to raise your awareness to the fact that life must continue after that point that you call death, because otherwise things would not make sense. And you all have, you know, very good minds when you are living in the physical body and you are having a physical life, because that life, you see, you are learning. And sometimes what you call coincidences pop up. But you know, there is no such thing really as a coincidence. It is just that you are unfolding in your own personal understanding and development of life. For those very young here, you know, school work can be arduous to say the least, but it is just stepping stones, you see, to prepare you for life, just as your family life prepares you to go out feeling secure into the world. When you, how many of you think, when I am grown up I am going to do this? You have your heart set on certain things that you would wish to do with life, and sometimes it does not work out as you have imagined or as you have dreamt of. But you know, nothing in life means that you are failing, because it means you are taking on challenges, and from that, you know, you are evolving and learning, because life is all about learning, whether you be young or old. Some of you may think that you keep repeating the same mistakes, but there again, you know, nothing is the same, because You always have different challenges to face. But we want to tell you, you see, that it is important that you understand that life continues for that person that is part and parcel of your life. Because sometimes, you lose sight of the fact and think that when the physical body is no more, then that person no longer exists. Which, is something that is a little scary. And, even these sci-fi programs have a lot of truth within them, but can be a little scary to watch. It is important, you see, that you take things in your stride and take small steps forward. You would not be in school learning to read and be expected to be able to read a large encyclopedia. You have to work your way through many things before you would have an understanding of the truth. And the thing is, that perhaps you won't have a great understanding of the afterlife until you get there yourself. But you're all on the same journey, you see. You will all end up there because that is the natural rhythm of life. But if you know without a shadow of doubt that your loved ones are alive and well, then it makes it simpler. It makes you feel more buoyant. It makes you feel more settled within yourself. And loads of people have said, well, I think there's something after that point that we call death, but. And it stops at the but. But many other people are, investigators into things and take time out to realize that their own spirit is prompting them to understand the truth. Communication does not take place just through a medium, because you all have this mind, you all have this ability to think of somebody and then they turn up and you may not have seen them for quite some time, because we are all connected to one another through that vibration that we call love, because you have a love for your fellow man. You have a love for your animals. You have a love of your nature. You have a love of life. And the creator of all life is God, the Father. Not a gentleman that sits there and is going to judge you when you turn up in that world of light, but an energy that is the life force that runs through the whole of the universe. And even that very thought is quite scary to understand, because when you live in a physical world, you like things in nice little pigeonholes, And you may have to face through life adversity. To understand the concept of life after death does not mean that you are excluded from life's lessons. In fact, you may have more to deal with because you have a greater understanding of that spirit within you that sustains you whatever you face in life. It gives you strength. It gives you courage. It gives you hope. It gives you understanding, because it is life itself that you are encompassing. And so that is why it is important to take time out to remember your thoughts, to remember your dreams, because all things are possible when you look to moving forward and making yourself a better person. Because you should be thinking about how you treat yourself and how you treat others, so that you can begin to refine that spirit, that spirituality that is there within you. It says many things in the Bible, and one is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But that seems a little bit barbaric, does it not? You know, you don't want to go out fighting one another. You want to find common ground on which you resonate with another. The common ground on which we all resonate is that of the spiritual essence of self. That is what keeps you motivated and keeps you moving forward and taking off the blinkers of superstition and of mistrust. And, you know, you must open your mind and look at what things are of value to you. It is no good. We noticed when we drove up, you know, our channel here noticed that your notice board has been vandalized. By a stone, no doubt. But that was probably done by people that had nothing better to do, because they were bored out of their mind, because they were not using their creativity. And you know, if you give people something to think about and something to do, a goal to aim for, then you are going to get the very best out of that individual. And that is what we ask of you, that you do your very best in life. To be treated as you would wish to be treated is a good yardstick, shall we say, because you are all in the same rhythm of living. But some, you know, they go off on a tangent and they become idealistic and not realistic, and then they are fighting for power over others. The idea is that we share in the power that comes from God, the Father, the giver of all life. And this is shown, as we said, the rhythm of life is shown in your seasons. You may have had a hard winter, but still the spring blossoms forth, followed by the summer and the autumn and the winter, and so the cycle continues endlessly. The cycle of life, my friend, continues endlessly, and you will meet up with those loved ones. You will meet up with those that you love, because it is the love tie that binds everything together. And you know, if you went on holiday, you may be inclined, years ago, for the older people in the congregation, to write a postcard to say, wish you were here. The youngsters may send a text, having a great time, wish you were here. It is still communication, my friends, however you send the message. And so when our loved ones move on to the spirit world, they are excited about the idea that they may get a message back to you in your dream state, in your mind's eye. You may be walking down a street and think that you are seeing that loved one that you have lost. And yet when you get closer up, it is just somebody of the same stature, of the same build, of the same hair colouring, of the same shaped face. And then you are startled, because it is not the person that you have lost that you can go up to. And that can be a little disconcerting, but it is, you see, a way of communication, because they use all of our senses to communicate with us. Sometimes, you know, you may hear the same phrase going through your mind, and you may attribute that to something that your loved one used to say when you were perhaps only a youngster. But all these memories are stored in our minds and can be utilized to give us that feeling that we are indeed in communication one with the other, because they would not go traveling on in their lives and not wish to communicate with us. That is a very simplistic way of telling you all about communication. But my friend, it does exist. It is not a figment of an overactive imagination. As we mentioned about coincidence, how this happened and that happened, and then your life suddenly became a lot better because you had met the love of your life, or you had met a dear friend, or you had met somebody that made a difference to you because of their care, because of their love, because of their attention. So we ask, my friends, that you do indeed give your attention to the spirit world, that you make a promise to yourself that you will open your mind and your heart to their continued love, to know without a shadow of a doubt about their continued existence, and yours also. Death is not a dead end. You know, in Port Albert, our medium here gets lost up these little lanes, you know. And on her first visit there was nothing happening with the sat-nav because it was confused with all the lanes, you see. And so you just go round in a circle when confusion reigns in your mind. So be decisive. Be decisive with where you are going, what you are doing, and what you want to understand about life. The more we learn, the more there is to learn. But remember that there is always a rhythm, a time to be born, a time to grow, a time to make your transition into the rebirth of new life. You have just celebrated Easter, which talks about life anew, talks about the fact that Jesus was taken out of the tomb and then ascended by the time Whitsun comes along back to that spirit world, and in so doing made many visitations to his family, to his friends, to those that he was teaching all about spiritual gifts, about the awareness that you have of the life beyond that of matter. So, enjoy your life is what we would say to you. When you feel that you are struggling and you are going nowhere, remember that your spirit is forever moving forward and learning and understanding about life as it unfolds for you as the individual. It is not all about the fact that we just say to you that your life will continue. You have those in the spirit world that will always be there close to you, trying to help you to understand this truth. Because you know there are those that suddenly make their transition into the spirit world, and you are left at a loss as to understand why that person had made their transition when they did, and why so suddenly. There has been much in your news of those that have been killed en masse, whether it be through war or through these airplane disasters that have happened and brought things very much into your mind's eye of what has happened to these people when there is nothing left of their physical body. Their loved ones and their friends and those that are investigating what happened have many obstacles in their way before they see the light, that they have not just died, but they have moved on in their life. Difficult times, but it brings out much good within individuals when they are trying to come to terms with devastating news and devastating loss. It will always be so. We cannot make it easy, but you know, there is this understanding that life is a continuous process, and you are all going to move forward, and with what you call death, what we call rebirth, there is a newness of understanding and of how communication can be a two-way process. So don't forget that you can talk to your loved ones in your mind, because that is how they communicate mind to mind on the vibration of the mind. And that is why it is good sometimes to sit in the silence of yourself. A little bit scary to begin with, but again the reading talked about the benefits of sitting quietly within your own mind, within your own self. And so give yourselves a pat on the back, my friends, for opening that mind, for coming into an establishment such as this. A little bit different, yes, but nevertheless you can see that it all begins to make sense when you start asking questions about the afterlife, and more importantly about the rhythm of life. Your universe, my friends, is a vast place, and there are many that research into all sorts of things, but it has to make sense for you. One of you here could very well be another Einstein, but this is to make sense. We like to come forward to make sense to the ordinary person, so that you haven't got to be of an Einstein mentality to understand life. And so we say to you, my friends, go with the rhythm of life, enjoy the music of life, allow yourselves to go into that calm state from time to time, and know that you can always be around and about with those loved ones that walk this life with you, to ensure that you do what is necessary and understand the truths of spiritual understanding. Be happy. That goes a long way, because sometimes sadness and loss can devastate you. But know that it is temporary when you know that that spirit within all of your loved ones and friends is something that will continue forever and ever, or for what we would term eternity. And so we leave this message of hope, of love, of understanding with you. It is important, you see, that you are just true to yourself, because you know you better than anybody knows you. So be brave, be courageous, and be good in what you are doing. Be happy, and bring that love that you share with others, and use it wisely, and then you cannot fail. We say to you, my friends, good night and God bless.